Hi, my name is Marjan I Bojadziev. I'm professor at University American College Skopje and visiting professor at University Tor Vergata in Rome. I teach courses in leadership, organizational behavior, strategy, and entrepreneurship. Today, we are 6th of March 2025, and this is graduate course, Leadership and Organizational Behavior, the final session, and the session will be, how will you measure your life? It is based on famous Clayton Christensen's article, How Will You Measure Your Life? And many personal experiences during my 20 years of teaching and my 33 years in the business. I believe that the students will have a lasting memory of this last class we are spending together at the graduate program. I hope you will enjoy it. Thank you very much. We've come to the more or less partially end of our journey, and I usually end classes with a discussion. Have you heard of Clayton Christensen? Clayton Christensen has been for many years the most influential management thinker, the author of Disruptive Innovation, Harvard professor who unfortunately passed away pretty young, 65, 66. After the COVID in 2022. And he held one class at Harvard Business School named How Will You Measure Your Life? So it was a discussion with the students. MBA students are somewhat older than you, usually 27, 28 years. In America, they go after 3-4 years after undergraduate program. Guy who is deeply religious, by the way. He comes from some Christian church which is dominant in Salt Lake City, so I think Mormon or something. Anyhow, deeply religious guy, and he was giving this lecture, and he published this article, How Will You Measure Your Life, in July-August Harvard Business Review. And it was so popular, so many people download it. Usually it's free for a few weeks and then they close it, you need to pay. That in September, it was once again republished with a note from the editor-in-chief, and it was for free for the next 3 months until New Year, and it was fantastic. More than 300,000 people downloaded, very popular article. So I thought that we can use this and discuss more or less some aspects which are more about life and values than about economics and business. So the question for you, my dear colleagues, is number one, how can you sure that you'll be happy in your career? Number two, how do you know you will stay? Number two, how can you be sure that you'll be happy in your relationship with your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, spouse, partner, whatever? And number three, how do you know you will stay out of jail?
You can never know.
Okay, we go question, but we'll try to be louder for the filming to have a better. So question one, how you will be sure that you will have a happy career, that you will be happy in what you do? I'll go there, so if someone talks, to have the mic closer. Okay, there?
I think that you can never know what the future brings. So.
Well, but this is Que Sera Sera, like the song. Of course, we don't know all the things. It's many things are unpredictable, but what will make you happy at your job? Let's say this is the question.
Maybe we should set clear goals and a clear career path, and we should do everything that.
Can you do it louder? Sorry.
Okay, we should set clear goals and a clear career path, and with smaller steps on how to achieve our goals, and work every day towards our main goal. So that's how we will always be satisfied.
Alec?
can I say as an answer to all of these questions would be balance. So if we want to be happy in our career, we would have to
Okay,
have
Mary,
some,
join us. So,
we would have to have some balance in work-life.
Mary, come closer, feel free. Balance for all three questions, including staying out of jail. You steal, but not too much. Okay, anyone else? Anna? Angela?
I would say
Just a second, the mic will come. So this is a good solution.
I would say that there's no doubt that some days you'd feel less encouraged to do the job that you're doing, or you feel down, I'd say. But
You're talking about job or the relationship you with not
the
so
job,
happy
the
days?
job. I'm answering the first question, but you have to stay with a positive mindset and just look at the bigger picture and look at the goals that you've set, as Yana said, and work towards them.
Anna, the first two questions together. You have a boyfriend?
Good, no.
Okay.
Probably good communication, I would say.
For both, for the first and the second.
For the second.
These are the impressions of the first communication.
No, for the second question, I would say communication, clear communication.
Just a second. Okay, Yana here. Can you pass the mic, and Anya will move a little bit with the mic. So, but Anya. No, Yana, sorry.
For the first two questions, I would
Yes.
add determination, because if we're determined to do something and to achieve,
Persistence.
yes, and
Well, let's hope that you're not persistent in a toxic relationship if the boyfriend harasses you.
I mean, if you're smart enough, you wouldn't begin one like
Well.
that, but it doesn't matter. So for a good career and for a good relationship, we should be determined to see the best, to do the best, and to communicate. So we would, because always open communication gives us the answers and solves problems.
Just a second, Anya wanted, and okay, stick the microphone here and come closer to Anya. Anya?
What I would say is, when it comes to the first question, in order to be happy in your career, you need to first figure out what's your passion, what you're good at as well, and what you would feel fulfilled doing in the long term. I think that a lot of people fail because they pick something in the now rather than looking at it long term. And when it comes to the relationships, it's the same. I don't necessarily think that you can be a part of a career or relationship that you don't see long term. And for the second question, something else that I should add, when it comes to family, you should stick with people, you should stick with the family members that support you. And when it comes to your spouse or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, you should find someone that will always believe in you and will have open communication, because you will have bad days and good days, whether that's with yourself or with them. So.
Maria here, and we'll go further on.
I will be short. I think something very cheesy, but I think it applies to all three. I think you should love your career, try to love your family and spouse, and try to love the community you live in, so avoid any crime within the community. And that's all.
Okay, thank you very much for the discussion. And if you remember the things we've discussed when we had the chapter on motivation, basically what Christensen says is that the answer to the first question is basically, if you remember Herzberg, what jobs are motivating us? Jobs where we can grow, when there is achievement, when there is professional development, when there is a recognition for what we do. These are the important stuff for the job itself. Basically, the idea, as someone here said, that we shouldn't focus on the short-term approach. Short-term is money only. Job which pays me the best. But long-term solution is job you love. How do they say? If you love your job, you don't have to work a day in your life. It will always be pleasure and enjoyment. Actually, it is very similar with the relationship. At least this is what Christensen suggests. In terms of course, chemistry, emotions, falling in love, these are, let's say, things which are, have you ever read Erich Fromm? Please do if you find a chance. It's called The Art of Loving, fantastic book, which basically differentiates what does it mean to fall in love and what is love, what is long-term relationship. Basically, Christensen suggests that it is very similar with relationships. You need to have a partner with whom you can grow, like a job, where you can be a better person than you are individually. Both of you can make a synergy and become a better person eventually. Of course, I'm glad that most of you mentioned the importance of communication, and this is a powerful tool. And we come to the third question. How do you know you'll stay out of jail? Here, please exclude, knock on wood, accidents, things where you don't consciously do. But Alec here said that we need to be modest. But basically, how do you know you will stay out of jail? What are the principles in your life which will keep you on the legitimate side of life? Yes, please.
If you're ethical.
If you're ethical.
If you're honest, ethical.
Okay, ethical, this is, let's say it is the soft part of the legal, because ethical, if you're breaching the ethical norms, this is moral, breaking of the moral norms, not necessarily the law, but no one will put you in jail even if you are unethical, to be honest. You'll be doomed by the community, but...
I think that if you have good morals and if you have a good moral compass, you won't go to jail. Because in order for you to go to jail, you need to do something and you need to have that premeditated. And a lot of the crimes, they don't just happen overnight. You have to sit down and think about it. So if you're a good person and if you have good morals, you're not going to end up in jail.
Okay, let me ask you a question. How many of you have ever in the life used Windows or Office which is not officially purchased? Anya, we are talking about 80% of the group which broke some law.
Well, I have not.
Okay, you have not, but basically we see that this is not, this is maybe petty crime, but it is still breach of intellectual property right of one firm. How many of you? Yes, just a second.
Say about the question. I think you have to work with integrity, and also I think that you should be aware of the things that you're doing and not to be fooled easily by others, because...
But you used sometimes in your life unofficial...
Yes, but I'm aware that I've done it, so...
Just follow the law.
Follow the law sometimes. Okay, you just follow the law. Can we do one hypothetical example? So let's assume it's Friday evening, right? Friday night, like tonight. So what's the time? 8 p.m. Alkaloid in the old days, this is hypothetical, so the companies just mentioned, was having troubles to penetrate Russian market before the war. So we are talking, there is no war, there is no Russia, Ukraine, anything. And pharmaceutical companies are based on GMP norms, good management, good manufacturing practices norms. So let's assume, just for, okay, maybe it's not hypothetical firm, any pharmaceutical firm from Skopje. Let's assume that in the GMP norms, you need to have checked your laboratory every 30 days, and the 30th date expires today. So you have scheduled a visit from Vienna to check your lab on Monday. Nothing was planned to be produced in the next 2 days. You're a plant manager, so you have more than 20 years of experience, and suddenly you get a call from your Moscow salesperson says, look, I need 2 million pills of your main product on Monday here on shelves. We finally managed to strike a deal with this. But you say, but I cannot, my GMP norms are not working. He says, look, don't care, this is just painkiller. I mean, analgin, something like this, which is not serious, and I know that everything is okay. This is just a precaution, so we need to start producing. So you're the plant manager, you have 20 years of experience, you know that nothing bad will happen. This is routine checkup. You try to call your boss, you cannot get anyone there on Maldives, Cuba, somewhere they're not reachable, there is no internet. So it is up to you whether to start to make the pills and conquer the market where you've been trying to penetrate for many years, or you go by the book, don't break the law and wait Monday for lab inspection to come, and then try to renegotiate this deal which has been negotiated for many years, and finally you made a breakthrough. So what would you do? Like Rob Parson, do you break some rule and make the deal, or Anthony? You would make the deal and make some small. Okay. Just a second to distribute the mic. Sorry. Angela?
Is there an option to move forward the lab inspection?
No. Vienna, they are scared. You cannot find people in Skopje during the weekend not to say no, it's impossible. So this has been scheduled. They are routinely coming every first Monday in the month. So. But even if there is, it's too late. If you don't start manufacturing now at 8 o'clock, you cannot complete your order until Monday. So you must, it is yes, no, black, white. You need to start today. Guys, Peter, just a second for the mic, and please tell us your position.
Well, for me personally, I will take the deal.
You take the deal?
Yes.
So this is kind of the right side is voting yes. Why? You think that it's more important than the consequences, or?
Well, I will not want to lose an opportunity. I mean, hypothetically.
Fantastic opportunity. After many years, fantastic opportunity. Definitely yes. Pass the mic, please.
Don't they have some pills in inventory?
Oh, well, let's assume no. We are just trying to make it simple.
I would call the best lab people to make the product, and I will take the deal for sure.
Okay, so I assume that most of the students here would vote to go forward. Basically, what Clayton Christensen suggests is the following. So I told you that he was a deeply religious guy, and his religion would not allow him to do anything on Sundays. And while he was doing his master's program, he was in England, in Oxford, playing for the varsity basketball team of the university, tall guy. And they managed to come to the finals. And the final match was supposed to be played on Sunday. And he says, look, but my religion says, no, don't do anything on Sundays. And everybody say, wow, but who will know? It is us, friends, buddies. We've played the whole year just to come to this point. And he spent this last night contemplating and praying to God. So once again, please don't take me wrong. I'm not saying that you need to become extremely religious, but the contemplation is the important part. If you are religious, this is individual, of course, decision. So more or less, he suggests to students of 27 years, more or less you are a little bit maybe younger, but somewhere here. These are the last days of your lives where you can contemplate on the values which will guide you through life. Why? If you do not contemplate now, tomorrow the life starts to move on the faster track. Get married, kids, loans, apartment, car, blah, 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 everything starts to move very forward, and suddenly you are celebrating 25 years of finishing high school. And everybody needs to make his, her own decision. Basically, after all this contemplation, Clayton Christensen says, no. 99% is not enough. His friend said, but who will know it's once? He says, no, once for me is bad. If they say, who will know? Well, I will know. This was his reasoning. So he didn't play on that last game. You can spend many hours in learning corporate finance, managerial accounting, preparing cases in OBI, but try to spend some time on contemplation of yourself. What are the values which will guide you in your life? Hold your principles. This is basically his statement. Hold your principles. So once again, there is no right and wrong answer, like we started this. And the most important thing he mentions here is humility, the power to be humble. If you have enough know-how, skills, then you can be humble and talk to everyone. If you pretend that you're important, you raise your hand, and then you're kind of, like a rudder which cannot follow the airplanes. You don't see anyone. If you hit a rock, you will fall down. So being humble is a powerful thing if you have skills, knowledge, if you are fully aware of your personality. We are training here for future managers. Look, guys, management is one of the most noble professions. Maybe it does not look like it is, but you are trained to be leaders. As we said yesterday and the previous days, being a leader means being responsible for other people's lives, being responsible for the people who are on your team. So let me tell you a few words about myself and a few other guys which are important to me, and I hope that I will make some impression so that you can think about your values afterwards. Of course, you know that I'm part of the administration of the university for many years. I've been dean, vice rector, rector, many other stuff. And this makes my life very dynamic. More or less, this is the calendar. You always have few events, things happening. And this is very, for a professor, for academic, this is a big, uncomfortable situation, because you cannot you have an idea, contemplate, suddenly rings, the loan has come, this guy wants to leave, you need to fire. There are always things which are making the situation unstable, but that's that. I'm part of the ACBSP thing, so I do a lot of traveling for them and for myself. This is me in Miami this year. This is in ISM in Paris. A few years back I was their evaluator. So usually I go once a year to some trip, part of the evaluation team of the universities. Usually when I travel, I try to go with my family. So this is my value. Whenever I travel, I always go at least with my wife, and if possible, with the kids. Though now they are 25 and 28, so not so much interested in traveling with ourselves, but I try to push this family spirit together. This is my daughter when she graduated in Rome, when she finished master, and this is ourselves in Miami this year, yes. Besides administration, of course, I'm glad that I'm part of the research things. University American College is definitely one of the best, actually number 2 or number 3 as a research university in our country, and we are one of the 3 universities which offer doctorate studies. So as you see, this is the number of my citations, and we permanently do good things. Today I published, if you follow my LinkedIn or Facebook, more than 2 years we've been working with the colleagues to publish a paper on the national culture of Macedonia, and we are very proud of this, to be a part of the international team. Of course, kind of a social figure, this is the Italian president give me an honor in December. I got the, how it's called, Medal of the Order of the Star of Italy. It happened here at the university. This is the ambassador. I'm honorary consul of Hungary, so I have some things happening with them from time to time, and this is very interesting. Of course, in the other life, we do interesting things. When I was a kid, we were rock and rollers, and this is us from 1985. Of course, you cannot recognize any of these guys. But what happened after so many years, we managed to publish some of, actually we recorded in 1985 few songs, and then some guy found us and put us in 2020 on the history of the Yugoslav electronic music. Wow. Come on, he found us, 5 guys from Kozla, he put us on the history of the Yugoslav electronic music. And here is one song I'll play from you. This is in 2014, we got back together and we recorded something. Little bit crazy, yeah? So I still have all keyboards at home. I spend at least 2 hours a day with some crazy stuff. I always buy something and then my wife will kill me, but anyhow, we enjoy life with this stuff. And then interesting thing, they put into the history of Macedonia New Wave, Macedonian Rock Encyclopedia down there. We are always there, and you know, it's interesting to be part of the formal history of your country. So people sometimes ask me, why do you teach? You come afternoon, you've been all day at work, crazy stuff. Basically, number one, because I love it. So this is in Italy, 2000, before the COVID-18. This is some online class here when we started with. I'm not sure if you know, but in 2012, I've got the, how it's called, this Teacher of the Year award. So kind of best teacher of business in Europe and Middle East, and this is kind of in my office, so I'm proud of this, of course. And one of the advantages of being a teacher, especially in this international setup where USCS is positioned, is hanging with fantastic colleagues. So this is kind of the Last Supper, the dinner in Rome, exactly 5 years back, 23rd of February. Why I'm saying that it's 23rd, I remember the day. The next day it was Saturday, the next day it was Sunday. They had the first casualty of COVID in Bergamo. There was a match Atalanta with someone, and this is how the COVID started to spread. So this is exactly before the COVID. And all these friends, we gathered afterwards. This is when my daughter got her master thesis, so more or less the same crowd 3-4 years afterwards. Professor from Paris, JF, I teach some courses also in Paris, very good friend. So this is at his house in Paris, this is in Roma. He came once to visit me. And every year we are like a Formula One. We start in Valmalenko, it's one small village in Italian Alps. There is a doctoral school at Tor Vergata for entrepreneurship cases and stuff like that. So here is the crew. This is how Valmalenko looks from upstairs. Fantastic place. And then in November I'm there teaching. In April now Professor Luka Nyan will come to Skopje. Then at the end of April I go to teach one course, short course with Jean-François in Paris, and then in June we'll have the doctoral school here in Skopje. So always like kind of mingling, at least 3-4 of us, and some others will join. And there is Interesting approach. The meaning of life, as Christensen said, I will give you a few examples. He says, I've concluded that the metric by which God will assess my life isn't the dollars, but the individual people whose lives I've touched. Clayton Christensen. This guy is Howard Stevenson. If you had a course in entrepreneurship, he is the author of the definition entrepreneurship is going beyond the resources you currently control. This is me and him in 2008 at Harvard Business School. I was for the first time. And he wrote this fantastic book called Just Enough with Laura Nash. And the book, of course, book like a book, it has 300 pages, but basically it focuses on legacy, or basically focuses on the meaning of life. This is why it says just enough. What is just enough? 100, 1 million, $10 million, what is just enough in the life? And he suggests that just enough is most important things are happiness, achievement, significance, and most important, legacy. What will you be remembered afterwards? What you will remember from this class? How will people talk about me when I'm not on this world? My good friend Zoran Kostov, director of Habitat for Humanity, and this is the sentence just for 2 days back maybe. He's done many things in life. One of the rare examples of running NGOs which are hugely profitable and not stealing any money. Sometimes people, when there's so much money, now he has 17 billion euros assets under control and everything is so perfect, so ethical, so legal, unimaginable. He says a good thing, look, what we do, like you said, you have goals, career, and this is career in your life, but when you add passion, and when you embed yourself in the job you do, then you've created something, and this is life. This is like George Balashevich says, the minus between the year of birth and year when you pass away. This is the content of life. Steve Pascal, good friend, director of accreditation for ACBSP. This is me and him in Kansas City at Overland Park near Kansas City. Deeply religious guy, very interesting fellow. In America, as you probably know, schooling is very expensive. So kids after graduation in high school, those who don't have enough money go to army, go to military service, get some scholarship, and eventually after a few years they can go to university. If you've seen the bio of J.D. Vance, now the vice president, he spent 5 years in military and then got a scholarship to finish college. So Steve Pascal, very similar. He was in the Air Force. And also deeply religious guy. When we have ACBSP evening, he gives a prayer before, he says grace before the official dinner. Very interesting guy. And Steve Pascal says, I decided to become a teacher. I was very happy. And while he was working on the doctorate, they invited him to work for ACBSP. And then he had this dilemma, very similar like Clayton Christensen. Should I take it or not? I want to be a teacher. I want to influence other people's life. He spent this last evening contemplating, and then he said, wow, if I work for ACBSP, then I can have more people, more institutions. I can make more institutions better ones, and eventually then I can impact much more students than if I only teach individually. So he took this position, and now 20 years afterwards, he is still there. So why do I teach? It takes not big portion of my time, to be honest, maybe 10, 15%. This year I'm just teaching one course for the bachelor students, maybe 20% of the workload, but definitely the most of my job satisfaction. I enjoy being with you, and my mission in life is to make our students better people so you can make better organization. Eventually all together we can work and make better society, better communities where we live in. Being a professors, we are blessed, to be very honest. Like I said, management is a noble profession. Actually, being a professor is even more a noble profession because you are giving us a chance to influence your lives. They say to teach is to touch lives forever, and I hope that I've made some impact on you. It was my privilege to be with you in the past 3 weeks. Thanks for sharing your thoughts, ideas in this period. Of course, whatever you need in your life, you have my contacts, WhatsApp, Viber, mobile, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc. I'm going to invite you to join my leadership and strategy group so that we can share maybe some thoughts. Enjoy life when you finish here, and we did it, the course our way. So guys, thank you very much for being in class. This is the part where we go home, but if you want, we can stay more, of course. Guys, thank you once again. It was really a pleasure to be with you.